What is happening, people? Liverpool Prophet back again with another video, transfer video. You know the drill. All things Liverpool related right down below. We've got quite a bit to talk about today. I wanted to talk about a DM. I've mentioned the idea of us going into the market and signing a DM, but I don't think I've ever talked about what type of options we could go for, what type of player, who we could go for. I think I want to talk a bit about that because I think if we wanted, there are some decent DM options out there for us to get, and some of them are Premier League clubs, lower Premier League clubs, so they would be pretty easy to get. A bit more on a striker, maybe a centre back as well. There's quite a bit, but as usual, the Liverpool channel, we are here to talk about all things Liverpool. Now, listen. I wanted to start off first and foremost. I'm seeing a lot of people don't agree with my Trent opinion now. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Some Liverpool fans may be okay with the idea that Trent left, that he snaked the club, that he ran his contract down, that he led the fans on. Some people might think it's okay that he's gone and he did all that and they wish him well. Fair enough. That's their opinion. And we're here to disagree and agree. But my opinion is this. He's a snake. He snaked the club. He led the fans to believe he was going to stay. He's been learning Spanish behind everyone's back while he was still here. And he is just a straight up snake. That is my opinion, and a lot of other Liverpool fans' opinions are similar to mine. Now, it seems to be a divide in our fan base that we have people who are pro-Trent and we have people who are anti-Trent. And that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But for me, look, man, my feelings are clear, and I can't understand how someone can't be angry at this. In my opinion, I don't understand how you can sit there and not be aggravated by what he's done. But each to their own. But listen, if you don't disagree with me, that's more than fine. But let's be respectful about it, man. Let's not get abusive and that in the chat and all that. So, yeah, just wanted to clear that up first and foremost. But let's get into the main talking point. A DM. Now, a DM is a position. It's a weird position in our team because, like I said, I feel since Fabinho left, he hasn't been properly replaced by us. Fabinho left 2 summers ago. I was very surprised when we did sell Fabinho, to be fair. I know he had a bad year, but I think a lot of players had a bad year that year, and I think we could have well done with keeping him for another year because we were really lacking a DM the season before last now. We had Endo there, but he was playing every now and then. That position really hurt us, and it could not have hurt to keep Fabinho for another year. And I'm pretty sure he would have done a job for at least another season. I think we sold him too early. I think he had more to give to us than we allowed him to. I think we sold him way too quick, and we didn't replace him either in the market, which was a really poor move by the owners. But I want to look at who we could get in now as a DM now. I know a lot of people aren't really looking at a DM and thinking we need one. People will say Endo can play there, which, yes, he can play there. Endo can do a job there. Gravenberch is pretty much playing there at the moment, but like I said, I don't think Gravenberch is a 6, and I think if we get a proper 6, it will give us a lot more options on the bench and midfield-wise. As for who we can get in, Andre Trinidad from Wolves, I think is a very good option, a Brazilian DM. We were actually linked with him while Klopp was still here 2 seasons ago. The links just seem to have died on him. I don't know why that happened, but they just completely died down. But he was heavily linked with Liverpool, and I think Wolves ended up getting him. But I'd definitely make a move for him. I think he can do a very good job in this Liverpool team. I think Edison from Atlanta, we were linked with him as well. The rumours on that died down as well. I think that was also when Klopp was still here. So it seems to me like Klopp was looking at getting a DM in. He was looking at getting that Fabinho replacement in and getting that new DM. And seems that since Slot's come in, it doesn't seem to be that Slot is looking at a DM. It looks like Slot has kind of just accepted Gravenberch will play there, and he's not looking at a DM. And I can see why, but I disagree. I'm more on Klopp's side on this. I think we should go get a DM, in my opinion. There's 2 good options there, Edison and Andre. I take either. They're both Brazilian, so they both got the Fabinho roots. I'd take either of those. Edison is at Atlanta, I think, in the Serie A, so probably be a bit harder to get him than it would to get Andre from Wolves. But I think those would be good options. I don't think Andre plays a lot for Wolves, but you know, I think in a Liverpool team he'll definitely up his game and step up. Who else could we get? Other than that, DM wise, is there anyone else out there? Arsenal got the guy from Real Sociedad. I'm not sure why they got him because they've got Rice there, so it doesn't really make sense. But again, similar to the striker market, I think the DM market is very, very weak as well at the moment. Other than the two names I mentioned, and even them names aren't very well known, there's not a lot of DMs out there to really, really go for. I think everyone's got a proper DM except for Liverpool. I think City have got Rodri, Tottenham have got Bissouma, Arsenal have got Rice, Chelsea have got Caicedo or Enzo Fernandez. Who else do we have? United have got who do United have as a DM one? United have got Casemiro. I think it's only us who kind of lack that real proper six. Out of all the big six clubs, I feel we lack a proper six in that team, and we have lacked a proper six in that team for about the good part of 2 years now. And I would really like to fix that problem. I'd really like to fix that problem. There's no doubt that Gravenberch is doing a very, very good job as that number 6, but really, I mean, if he played as an 8, I think that would unlock him a lot more than it already is. He's doing bits already in a position that it's not his position. He's not familiar to the position, really. He's grown into it, but it's not his out-and-out position, right? If you put Ryan Gravenberch in a position in an 8, I think you'll see him thrive a lot more next season in a more, I'd say a bit more of a different style of play that we're going to have, but I think he'd thrive a lot more. Then you can potentially play McAllister as a 10. Sorry, you can't play McAllister as a 10 because Wirtz is going to be in the 10. So it's an interesting one, a very interesting one. The DM would help Gravenberch push up. You could play a 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1. Midfield-wise, I think, again, you could have a 3 in the midfield. You could do the 4-2-3-1. I think you could do a DM. You could have Gravenberch. You could have Wirtz or McAllister. You could do the 4-2-3-1. You could have a double pivot where you have the DM, Gravenberch. You could have the DM and McAllister. Then you have Wirtz in the number 10 position. So with Wirtz coming in, there's quite a bit of options there in midfield now. But I still think with a DM, we'll have even more options in the midfield area. But yeah, that's an interesting one. Centre back wise, again, I'm not really seeing much links to it. Obviously, it's looking more and more likely that João Quansah will be moving on. So, who could we get in as a centre back? Mark Gay from Crystal Palace, maybe. I've seen vague links on that. Hincapié from Leverkusen. Again, we were linked very, very heavily with him when Klopp was still here. We were linked even more heavily with him when it was rumoured that Alonso was going to take over from Klopp and he was the front runner. We were linked very heavily with that Hincapié from Leverkusen. And again, links died down all of a sudden out of nowhere. Which, again, I think that has to do with Slot looking at these positions and thinking that they don't need fixing. I think the positions that Jurgen was trying to strengthen, DM and centre-back, I think Slot's just come in and said, okay, look, Gravenberch can play in the 8, number 6, and you've got Quansah and Gomez, you can be backup centre-back, so we're good there. And fair enough, because they have done a job to an extent this season. Gravenberch, 100% done the job. Centre-back wise, I think when Gomez has come in, he's looked very good. I think when Quansah's played, I think he's looked very shaky, to be fair. Very, very shaky. So we do need to look to a centre-back, in my opinion, just in case Virgil or Ibu get injured. Now, on João Quansah, I mean, I didn't watch the England game last night, but apparently Quansah had a very, very poor game. He almost scored an own goal on numerous occasions. Apparently, all in all, he just had a really, really bad game now. Again, if that is true, I'm going to have to go back and watch the highlights on this game. But if it is true, that's just more evidence that people need to see that Quansah is not a Liverpool player. He's not good enough to play for Liverpool. I think his standard is lower to mid-table Premier League teams such as Wolves, such as Everton. I don't want to say Everton, screw them. Such as West Ham, such as Brentford now that they've lost Thomas Frank. I think his level is that. I think having him play for Liverpool, who we want to be consistently competing for the major honours, he's not the player. He's not the player that's going to elevate you. We need to have good depth, like I said, and Kwanzaa, unfortunately, in my opinion, is not good squad depth. He is very, very bang average squad depth, and we need better. And look, there's no hate towards Kwanzaa, nothing like that. Everyone wanted it to work out. He came through the academy and all that, but just an academy player who's proven that he isn't good enough to play for us, and there's no harm in that. It just means you have to be moved on, obviously, and you can play somewhere where you'll be better suited and you'll probably get regular game time a lot more than you would for us. So I think, look, yesterday just, seals it that Kwanzaa needs to be sold and we need to look for better centre-back wise. But look, obviously, Wirtz is coming in. We're all still excited about that. We've still got to look for a striker. There's just a lot to be excited about at the moment, in my opinion, Liverpool-wise. So let's all keep an eye out on the transfer news. That's it for me today. I only wanted to talk a bit about a DM and a centre-back, two unpopular positions. I think that's what I really wanted to do, is a bit of a different video today. But that's it for me, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think down below on the DM. Do we need one? Who should we get if we do? Or are we okay there? Same with the centre-back position. But I'm out, guys. I'll speak to you guys soon. Liverpool Prophet. Peace out. Remember, like, subscribe, comment. Up the Reds. Let's go. I'll speak to you guys soon.